So you guys have probably heard about this rumor, this theory, whatever you want to call it, that Pokemon has created this artificial scarcity to drive prices up, to cause all this demand. And I guess I wanted to touch on it today because I feel like that we have this, reprint news now. It kind of speaks towards, I feel like it not being really true, this whole rumor. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, just give my take on it. And you guys can comment down below what you think about this whole thing with Pokemon creating artificial scarcity. So I have this post here just to show this person, I guess talking about the artificial scarcity, how they believe that Pokemon has created this. But I guess I want to, not discount that this is not a possibility. I'm always pretty open when I hear certain things. For example, when we heard of, the reprints coming, everybody just, shut the dude down for saying that. I left it open. I'm saying, hey, it's possible. And I'm saying this time too, it is possible. Maybe Pokemon did create this artificial scarcity, like maybe they did, but I feel like it's really just demand out of nowhere and Pokemon not being prepared for it, which has caused this sort of, supply issue and some people deeming it artificial scarcity. So let's just quickly read a little part of this post here where this person is claiming that. So no one wants to admit it, but this is 95% the fault of Pokemon and 5% the fault of big box retailers. Pokemon has created artificial scarcity to create this market. If you don't think they can print as much as they want, you are willfully ignorant. There should not be a market for new Pokemon, which that makes no sense to me. The whole point of how the system works is new products are easy and old products have actual scarcity. When you bypass this to create a whole new market, you've destroyed the entire funnel system. Your collectors can't do the hobby, so they slowly leave, and you're left with bag holders, new entrants, and scalpers. This is literally what happened to meme coins and NFTs. So this person is just claiming that Pokemon has created this artificial scarcity, and they truly believe that Pokemon can just print everything into the ground immediately. Now, I've already gone over this before. The whole process, I think people are oversimplifying. I don't think it's extremely super complicated, like we're talking about spaceships here, but it's not as easy to print as much as I guess some people claim they can. Like I think people think Pokemon just in a month can solve all these issues if they really wanted to. I feel like they really can't because I think people forget that it's a whole chain of processes that has to go through, shipping stuff, materials, all these sorts of things, labor. You take all this into account. It's not like this stuff is just automatic. Like it takes time. And when you have a big company, big operation, changing, all these print runs and all these different things, it's not as easy as some people make it seem, which I feel like people try to oversimplify. It's just cardboard and that's why it should be easy. But I think this whole thing where Pokemon can just print instantaneously and stuff to solve this issue, and that's why this is artificial scarcity immediately, I feel like is kind of not right because I don't think the process is as simple as some people make it out to seem. And now we have this, reprint news that's supposed to be confirmed. I feel like it even further shows that Pokemon isn't trying to create this artificial scarcity. Now, I will touch on this though, that I guess artificial scarcity is somewhat, it's kind of vague, Pokemon with this reprint, it's possible, maybe this reprint is small. Maybe they're reprinting enough to the point where prices go down but don't crash. And then is that artificial scarcity? Are they creating that? If they have the capability to print more of the stuff, let's say all these boxes, they're going to reprint, if they don't print as much as they can, and maybe they just print a small amount to get some supply in the market, prices dip a little bit, is that creating artificial scarcity because they were able to, but they didn't? Maybe. But I feel like, this whole artificial scarcity thing to some extent could be correct in that way, where I feel like Pokemon does care about the secondary market, so I don't think they'll crash prices, but at the same time, you could argue that, they also don't have the ability to do that. So I feel like this whole thing with artificial scarcity, I think it has some truth per se. Like it's possible. Maybe Pokemon can print more. They just don't want to. They'll print a little bit to make some people happy, make prices dip a little bit. But I think the same thing can be said that they just can't print enough. So I feel like this whole argument can go both ways. But I'm more on the side, at least right now, that this is not artificial scarcity. It's really just Pokemon not being able to print enough. There's just too much demand. And I feel like this huge switch of demand is really what caused these supply issues, because if you think about 6 months ago, Scarlet and Violet boxes were all cheap. It's just recently that things have gotten so expensive. And I feel like some people that are new to this space and just got here don't understand that. Like, some people maybe just got into Pokemon recently when prices were all high and they think that this has been a thing or something. But things were super cheap. There wasn't that much demand. It's just all of a sudden this has happened. So I feel like with this reprint news of, like, Paldea Evolved booster boxes, Obsidian Flames booster boxes, Twilight Masquerade booster boxes, all these different boxes, Surging Sparks. This is a very new, set. They're, I think showing some attention to supply issues, because if you think about how new Surging Sparks is, it shouldn't be getting reprinted right now, but they are because it's expensive. So that also could speak something towards the whole artificial scarcity theory. And also Paldean Fates booster bundles. And recently we've gotten multiple 151 booster box or 151 booster bundle restocks, reprints, whatever you want to call them. We've seen like GameStop, Target, Walmart in the past. So I feel like if Pokemon was really trying to create this whole artificial scarcity, I don't think they would have reprinted some of these boxes. I think they probably wouldn't have reprinted, Surging Sparks, because this is a new set. I mean, they're kind of skipping some sets to reprint this. So I feel like if they really wanted to, they would let this thing fly. They would let it keep going. Same thing with 151. If they really didn't care to, reprint this and want to create this artificial scarcity, they wouldn't have reprinted or restocked these booster bundles to GameStop, Target, and all these other places. So I just think some people like to come up with theories to try to, I don't know, sound smart or something. But when you actually think about, the factors of, how the demand just switched very quickly in Pokemon is reprinting stuff, I don't think this whole thing is true with the artificial scarcity. And you even add, Pokemon having all these other products come out, like Blooming Waters, and all these other Prismatic Evolutions products in the future. I don't think this whole thing is, actually correct. And I've also heard, Prismatic Evolutions, the Super Premium Collection, whatever it's called, apparently I've heard that it's supposed to be like 3 times the amount being made of that product compared to the Terapagos UPCs. I don't know if you guys have heard that from other sources, but I've heard that around. I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's true. So I don't know. This whole thing, I feel like people just want some sort of answers, want some sort of, I guess, source of this problem. That's why people come up with these different ideas. And like I said, to some extent, I think it does have some truth. Maybe Pokemon can print more, but they're trying to just, contain it in a certain way where they're not printing stuff into the ground, but also, they're trying to balance out, the amount of supply out there. Because I would say right now, Pokemon, even if they were trying to create this artificial scarcity, I feel like it is too much right now. So I think Pokemon is going to try to balance things out. I really feel like their target pricing on the secondary market is going to be MSRP, because then people will still buy from them directly. That's how I feel things are going to probably be in the future when Pokemon does reprint. I don't think they'll reprint to the point where boxes get to $100, but we'll see with this reprint here that's coming up soon with all these products, how much they actually reprint, because I think that will really show, I guess, Pokemon's capabilities, or just Pokemon just, I don't know, not wanting to print things in the ground. There's a lot of ways you can go about this whole thing, but I'm just more on the side that this is not artificial scarcity. It's just Pokemon. It's just a lot of demand right now. That's just my take on it, but hey, maybe they're doing that to some extent. Possibly. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.